See that boat behind me? That's your boat. I'm going to show you how to use it. I know you know jets. This is the stern drive, so I'm going to show you the ins and outs so you look like a pro right out the gate. Okay, pre-hook checklist. So on me, this is about just to the top of my knee. It's about how high you want it. All right, your connections are 2 chains, hydraulic brake breakaway cable, 7-way plug, and you have a pin lock. It locks here on this black thing, right here, this black lock, and that's the key. It's on this key ring, that key. And yes, I just lubed it. Your retractable third leg is here. You don't have to spin it all the way up. Most people think you do. You basically have this entire spot because this will just move and find its place. So I just greased that. I just greased these 2 zerks. Your brake fluid is full. You're ready to go. That is a new Brake Master. This hydraulic line, I have it protected with this rubber. That is new all the way to the back. Okay, and your registration is right here. Now on your winch, you're going to want this boat all the way up. And you have a secondary cable right here. All right, so you have 2 connections. By law, you have to have that. And you are 100% legal. On the spare, it's a brand new tire, never even been on the ground. And I mounted it backwards so you can easily get to the valve stem to air it up. And it's protected with a vinyl cover. So that's the hookup right here. On the back, I'll get to that in a sec. On the back, you're going to have your out drive all the way up, and you're going to have these 2 locks put on each trim ram. And I actually bought you 2 brand new ones, so I think the new ones are blue. I haven't looked yet, but you got 2 new of these, and they just pop on and off. That's what they look like, and they prevent this. They prevent this from dropping while you're under tow. All right, so that all the way up, and then you have 2 transom tie downs, 1 on each side, 1 and 2. You don't want them real tight. You just want them snug. That's all. Your brake lights, your tail lights, they're LED submersibles, and your license plate is on the left side. Now on service, these tires, they're a couple years old, but they've been garaged their whole life. And this is a 6,000-pound Dexter Easy Lube axle. So if you're familiar with those, you can pull this center cap and you can pull the rubber plug that's behind that. I usually just take the wheel off. And you have 12-inch drum brakes, not 10, 12-inch drum brakes. Well, anyways, once you get to the center hub, there's a grease fitting in the center of the axle. And you jack this up and you spin the tire and you keep pumping grease into it slowly. Not so much you'll blow out the rear seal, which is new, by the way. And that way you can actually easy lube the axles without having to disassemble the whole damn thing. So really neat feature on this trailer. 6,000-pound Dexter Easy Lube axle. Now when you trailer your boat, hey, you've got these 2 guide-on boards on each side. I through bolted them. I removed the carpet and through bolted them. So these will never come off on you. But you want to make sure when you trailer the boat that the boat clears the bunk. Clears the bunk, okay? So when it clears the bunk, it's going to be tight, tight, tight. And your winch arm will be right about right here at 4 o'clock, all right? So that's the trailer. All right, now you got the boat at the water and it's time to get it ready. So let's do a pre-launch checklist. What are things you do? What are things you don't do? And how do you do it specifically on this boat? Number 1, you know this, always install the plug. This boat takes a Garbird drain, G-A-R-B-O-R-D or B-O-A-R-D, I don't know. It's this freaking guy, all right? You can actually buy these. They're really common. It's good to have a couple extras. This one's brand new and you do have an extra in the glove box. It's a 9/16 wrench or crescent wrench. And this guy installs bottom center of of the transom right there, and it threads in. Now you don't have to crank it all the way, just get it in there and get it snug. It's not going anywhere. Step 2, open the windshield pass-through. By the way, all the little locks are broken. This one holds it a little bit. It's an old boat, but it works fine. Open it up, and you'll see this spot right here. You see a little standing rod? It locks in there. You can drive with it like that, no problem. We usually, only in the wintertime, close it, or towing. So you're gonna need to open that so that you can get to that anchor and the matching anchor up front. All right, now that the windshield pass-through is open and you've got the boot off the bimini top, this is where it rides when it's down, when you're towing, when you don't want shade. But now you got to move it. And 2 sets of hands really help on this. So you have this mount here, just above the American flags, and you got to move it forward. And you know, I got the carriage before the horse. A lot of times I'd leave the boot on first. All right, after you got help to move it up, I was able to do it by myself. Lock it in, and just balance it and get it hooked on the first one. And then come over here to the back on the same side. And you know, with the bimini tops, you want to have a twist, so that they don't make noise in the wind. So you definitely want a twist. Oh. Yeah, it's tight. Lock it in there. And you come over here, put a twist in it, lock it in there, come over to the front, put a twist in it, just like that. And this one you hit quickly balanced. Oh, you know what? There's a twist in it already. And then there you go. That's the bimini top. Okay, now we're gonna check everything else. So the battery, and there's a master battery cutoff switch right here. Not in the bilge, it's next to the gunnel, next to the transom. So, go under the seat, you'll see one snap. All you gotta do is reach and feel, pull it off, lift this seat up, pull it back a little bit, lift it up. There it is. Set it to the side. Okay, drop these 2 little levers here. Bam, and lift. There you go. Set this guy to the side. And come over to your battery. Your battery's the first check. It's fully charged. I've had it on a trickle. The ground is on the left, yellow. Red is on the right. Red, boating law says the hot has to be covered. Boating law says it has to be a mount, and it has to be secured, and has to be able to withstand a 30-foot strike, 30-pound foot strike. So you have this quick release little nylon. This is a really cheap strap, only because the other better but really cheap strap broke. So I just replaced it with this other really cheap strap. And if you look right here, there's your master battery cutoff switch. You're going to turn it clockwise. 9 o'clock. From 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. That's step number 1. Okay, on the starboard side, you got the same little latches, same little cover. Move that out of the way. This is where your hydraulic trim pump is. See that right there? I replaced that 4 years ago. So that's a new unit, okay? And that right there is your blower fan. And so you always want to check, make sure you have hydraulic fluid, because if you don't have that, it's not going to trim up or down, and that's a big problem. Now for the engine checks, you really only need to undo the snaps on the vinyl, but I'm going to show you other things. We're going to undo both. This, you just turn it and pop it off. Identical on the other side. Snap, turn, good. Then take this guy, just slide it towards you. Okay, let it fall down. Bam, look at that bad boy. Woo! This is a Chevrolet 5-liter V8, carbureted. Okay. I put that in there to let whoever works on it know what's been done to it. You got a rebuilt carburetor. You got a brand new factory Mercruiser electric fuel pump. That thing is 750 bucks. You got a new water pump, a new serpentine belt, a new starter. You had the full outdrive gone through, all new gimbal bearings, transom seal. They had to remove the engine and the outdrive completely from the boat to replace that transom seal. You got new spark plugs, water plugs. They're the blue ones. I'll show you those. You got a new prop, and the stern drive and the motor were realigned, and you have a new cutoff switch at the helm, which is law. It's got to work. Those are kind of hard to get. And then you got a new, pretty fresh service, oil and filter and fuel filter, and new serpentine belt. You can tell that's brand new. So boat's been totally gone through. Rebuilt that carburetor twice. Runs pretty good. All right. And the ignition parts aren't that old either. I'm talking about cap, rotor, wires, that kind of thing. So first check is engine oil. Now you're going to look all over for it and you're not going to find it. That's why we're doing this video. So it is right here. Bam, right here. You got to lift this water hose and you can pull the dipstick out and check the engine oil. All right. Then if you need to add oil, you're going to add it right here. Okay. Then you want to check. This is called a drive monitor. Okay. Drive monitor. So this keeps your stern drive full. So this is the full line, and it'll go down a little bit and you just top it off. So that's good. This guy right here is your oil pan drain hose. So when you're ready to change the oil, you just snip that little zip tie and put that out through the transom drain out the back of the boat. Pull this little cap off and let it drain, and you can change your own oil, no problem. The oil filter, standard Chevy, is back on this side. Excuse me, there's my hand. Back on this side, and then that's pretty much it. You know, you got to put fuel stabilizer in these boats because you never know when they're going to sit and how long you're going to sit. By the way, this is your fuel tank, and the fuel fill is on the back of the boat. Port side, right there. Fuel. That's the only fuel inlet right there. So when you want to fill it up, just know it's on the same side as your tow vehicle. Okay, now I was talking about those little blue plugs. What are they? You have 5. So when you store a boat, it has raw water in it, and you don't want to store a boat with raw water in it. Why? Because the water can freeze and crack the block. And there's other reasons too. So you have 5 of these drains. This is number 1. You got 1 at the bottom of each exhaust manifold, and you got 1 at the bottom of each block drain. So when you're done for the season, usually when I know I'm going to park it for a while, I'll pull all 5 and drain it all. All right. So that's the fluids check on this boat. This is your fuel water separator too, by the way, and that's new. Now that I think about it. So yeah, you've got a fresh oil and filter, fresh fuel filter, water separator, fresh plugs, and your carburetor. Your mixer screw is right there. And then what's one more thing? If you're ever going to set ignition timing, you have to ground out the advance on the electric distributor, and there's a plug over here to do that. Oh, it's this guy right here. So there's all kinds of stuff on the internet if you ever want to do that yourself. Okay, on to the next. All right, if all your fluids are fine, you have the plug in, your bimini top is up, and you're getting pretty close to launching. There's other things you need to check. Number 1 is your engine cutoff in the run position. All right, so you have to take a no, you don't. You live in Utah. You're so lucky. Anyways, kind of like a personal watercraft. It's law now. You have to wear this, and you have to have a working cutoff switch, and that's what this is. This switch was no good when I bought the boat, and I had to buy another one. So that's good. All right, and we'll talk about all this in a sec, don't worry. Okay, now at your helm, you've got a oil pressure, temperature, speedometer, and it works. RPM gauge, fuel gauge, volt gauge. So when I got this boat, this wasn't reading correctly and I replaced it. So you'll see the face of it looks much brighter than all the other ones. And the alternator's working. It's putting out 14 volts. So it's starting to read low. So I wonder if this boat has a thing with gauges. I don't know. So it's reading 13, and I put a voltmeter on it last trip out to make sure it was charging, and it was. So don't be scared if that looks low to you. It is working. All right, so the way this boat works is just like a car. You key on, and you're going to hear a loud, yeah, that's irritating. That's to let people know, if you have anybody in the water, that the boat is going to start and you're going to have a propeller. So you want to keep that alive. You need that. All right, so it's on, and then one more over, we'll have it cranking. But let's check the other systems first. All right, your first switch here is accessory. That's for that guy. I believe. I've never used it. But the red switch is the most important. That's your blower fan. This has to work with the covered engine. You have to run this for, you know, let's say 2 to 5 minutes before you ever turn the key, if you don't take the engine cover off, because that will exhaust all of the gas fumes and vapors out of the engine compartment. So check and make sure that works. It sure does. You hear it? All right, we're doing a systems check. All right, now with the bilge pump, it's on a float switch. So it's already switched on. But yeah, it's on a float switch. So when you get water in the boat and the float rises high enough for the bilge to kick on, it'll come on automatically. All right, but this is a dry boat. Why? Because I had all the seals replaced. So you will boat all day and pull the plug and get maybe 2 drops of water, if that. It's absolutely astounding. All right, now you have anchor light and navigation light. The anchor light is for the light on a stick that goes on the back of the boat, and you have a brand new one. And the nav light is the red and green light up on the bow. Right there. Okay, and then you have a horn. The horn is just in front of where that bimini hooks up. It's that white oval thing. See? So what I would do, leave this on and then go back and lift that float and make sure the bilge works. But that's how you check the systems on this. Now, at the helm steering wheel, this is the tilt wheel. You just lift this towards you and you can adjust the steering wheel where you want. It doesn't telescope, but it just tilts. And then you have a fish finder, depth finder with alarm. If you set alarm, I turned it off. And yeah, it's pretty neat. But when you turn this on, it's going to go into simulation mode. I don't know why it does that. It drives me crazy. But it does work pretty good. It also tells you the current water temperature. And that pickup is mounted on the transom. All right, now let's get to this guy here. This is a gear shifter and a throttle all in one. Okay, this button releases this from, I'll say park, but locked up center. This means it's not in gear and it's at idle. That's what that means when it's straight up and down. Okay, if the boat were running and you push this button and you go forward, it will shift forward, make the prop turn, and it'll make you go. The more you push this forward, the more you're pushing down on the accelerator, the more gas you're giving it, and the faster you will go. So when it's floored, it's basically like right here, and then, you know, less gas, more gas, less gas, more gas. All right, and if you go straight up and down, it'll click and lock all by itself. And then if you want reverse, you're gonna push, and you're going to go backwards, and that'll put it in reverse. And the same thing here. The more you go down, the more throttle you're going to give it in reverse. All right, so that's that button there. This button is really important. This is your trim switch for your outdrive. Oh, sorry, little scatterbrained, I know. Every time you shift, you're going to hear just a slight grinding clunk. It's normal. This is a Generation 2 Alpha drive, a Mercruiser Alpha drive, so it's got a cone clutch, so it's supposed to do that. So you just don't want to like baby it and let it like slowly just shift the damn thing. Okay, you don't have to jam it with force, but just positively shift it. You'll hear a little clunk. So it's not like the Bravo drives where they're like an automatic transmission. So with that said, okay, this is your trim. Down will take your outdrive all the way down. All right, so hear it working. When the boat's on the trailer, you'll actually lift the back of the boat because the outdrive will hit the ground. So you don't want to go too far. There is no trim gauge. But I want to illustrate something for you. Down is only one thing, okay? Down is down. Up, there's actually two different clicks, all right? There, I just kissed the ground. There we go. All right. Do not ever run the boat with this outdrive all the way trailer up. There's a difference. If you have it all the way trailer up, the universal joints are binding, okay, and you will F it up. Don't do that. All right. So when I say the top is a 2-position switch, okay, so you have these parameters that are set. There are these trim limiters dials that are set by the shop that works on them, right? And it sets down dependent on how long your trim rams are. There's certain specifications, but it also sets the up, because you don't want to be underway and trim up and go up too far and air the prop out, right? So there's a trim limit set into this switch. So when you go up, watch. I never took my finger off, but you hear how it stopped? Okay, it hit the trim limit for up. And that is a fail-safe so that you don't air the prop out while you're underway. So the difference is you have down, you have up, see how it stopped by itself? And then you have trailer up. You push it hard, it'll click. See how it keeps going? That'll bring the stern drive, the outdrive, all the way up. So that's trailer up. You've got to do that before you pull the boat out of the water on the trailer, or the outdrive will drag on the ground. All right, so down. You see it has a different sound. You can actually hear it when you're underway. See, we're still not to the highest setting for the trim while underway. So that's what I do when I'm going to run the boat on the trailer at home. I'll bring it down, not so low I hit the ground, but high enough to where I'm safe, right? So do that. Any questions, give me a call. So now we're ready to run the thing. How exciting. I'm a touch scatterbrained. I forgot to show you on the throttle how to make it do throttle only and not shift into gear. I will when we get back up into the helm. All right. So now you're on the ground, you're ready to start it, but you got to get water to it. So what you need are earmuffs. These are earmuffs. Hose goes in right there. Standard hose bib. You get this with the boat. Thread this into there, and then slide it on from the front and cover on both sides of the stern drive these intake ports. All right, turn the water on. It doesn't have to be full blast. That's plenty. And then go climb in the boat. All right, boat has an electric fuel pump, but you're not going to want to shift it into gear. So what you do is you push this button and hold it, and then you push that button up there, the forward and reverse release, and then you'll be throttle only. Sorry, I only have 2 hands. All right, I just released it, got it free, and then really that's where it starts giving it throttle. From here to 12 o'clock, it's just idle. It's going into lock. So, come over here. Hasn't run since June. Let's see how she does. Let that fuel pump kick on. It's give it some fuel. Ah, we're there. And there she is. Just like that. See what I was saying about that volt gauge? It is charging. So I don't know what the deal is with it. I'll just give it a little bit of gas. I like to put it at about 1100, 1000 on the trailer. Let it warm up. It is the original alternator. But like I said, it is charging, so I don't know what the deal is. So these things fall down all the time. All right, I've just let it run at that same RPM. I haven't touched it. Neutral. Oil pressure is over 60 pounds. There you go. Now these Mercruisers, they have a real low idle. This one is 650, I believe, and that's because it has that cone clutch. You don't want to have it set real high and then have that kind of torque back there at the clutch. There's actually an interrupter switch, so whenever you shift forward, it'll actually momentarily kill the ignition to ease the pain on that clutch and the on drive. So yeah, so you have power steering. Boat steers really good. It's a really comfortable boat, man. But let's go hear the idle from outside. And you know, when it's in the water, you don't hear any of it. You can be underway and have a conversation. So boat runs real good. We're at idle now. All right, so this little 5-liter has a roller cam, and you can hear it. It's got some lobe to it. And what that means is you don't have to use a special oil with zinc additive in it, nothing like that. Just use exactly what Mercruiser says. It's a 2540 weight. And there's a whole service kit you can buy on Amazon, and it's like 110 bucks, something like that. So just use exactly what's recommended, and it will live a long life. All right, cool. So just for reference, I want to show you what your draft looks like. Draft is the running gear underneath the boat. So remember, when we trimmed down, it touched the ground. When you're in the water, it can go much lower than that, which is why it's important to trim up before you pull the trailer out of the water, because that sucker will drag on the boat launch. I got you another number set. Well, I had it, but I didn't forget to not give it to you. These are the new trim ram locks for towing. You got to cut them to fit. I'll let you do that. Here's a new set of boat numbers. I don't know what number you're going to get from Utah. Hopefully you got enough of everything. You have 4 sets of everything in here. Coast Guard approved. You know, if you're testing on the trailer, it is okay to shift it into forward and reverse, even though the prop is not in the water. So you can hear the way that cone clutch sounds, and you don't hear it like this when the boat's in the water because that's underwater. So push the button and just go forward. Hear that? Okay, that's forward. So from this point forward, now I'm giving it gas. That's prop turning. Straight up and down, locks by itself. Prop will stop moving. Push the button. Now you can go into reverse. Hear it? It says right on there, reverse, neutral, forward. Showing a little higher, but it is charging, and you got quite a bit of fuel in here. All right, is there more pre-trip stuff to check? You bet there is. So let's get to the rest of it. All right, does that cutoff switch actually work? Yes, it does. Starts right up. All right, let me turn the water off and I'll show you the rest of the stuff. Okay, let's talk safety gear. There's stuff you have to have by law, and then there's stuff that you should have. So you can go overboard, you can with anything. But let's talk about what you do need to have. Number one, you have to have a Type 4 throwable, and it has to be within reach of the operator of the boat who is wearing their safety cutoff switch. Number one, gotta have a Type 4 throwable. Number two, you gotta have a fire extinguisher, and it has to be an ABC rated fire extinguisher. This one was bought, this is one thing I always do, August of 2023. All right. Number three, you got to have a way to make noise. Horn. Boat has one built into it. There's one. But you also have an air horn and a whistle. Whistle is good for life jackets. Okay, you got to have all that, and then you got to have registration insurance. There's that, and it also has the rules. It's a navigational rule. So when you take a boater safety course, that's the book you learn from. You've got all the rules of boating right here as a quick reference. So safety wise, that's pretty much all they're going to check. Every person on board has to have a life jacket that fits them properly, and you cannot be over capacity on the boat. This boat specifically is 9 passengers for 1,350 pounds. It seats 9 comfortably. You can get 6 back here, and you get 9 up there. But really, 6 or 7 is the right number. Let's just be honest. Okay, so let's talk about some other stuff that you're going to get from me so that you're the safest boater on the water. So not only do you have that fire extinguisher, but you have that one right there too. So in the event of an emergency, you have 2 options in case one fails. That way you're safe. All right. You have a brand new first aid kit. Okay. You have a VHF marine radio. VHF stands for very high frequency, channel 16. Basically the manual for that's right there. And also in the rules and navigation book, it talks about how to use that, how to hail for help. And if you're on the water and you have that radio on and someone puts out a mayday or a call for help, you are bound by law to go help them. So that is a fail-safe. It's a handheld, rechargeable VHF radio. All right, so we talked about the first aid kit, the air horn, the whistle, the radio, the registration. That is a multi-tool. You're gonna use it at some point, trust me. That stays in the glove box. You got your Type 4 throwable, has to stay within reach of you. Fire extinguisher. Now, I'm giving this one to you too. This is a life jacket. It's illegal. It counts as a life jacket. But this is something you'd wear, when you don't want to be overheated or you don't want to wear a big bulky jacket. It just fits around your neck and down the front sides of your body, It's got anchor hooks so you can tie yourself off if you need. And this will self-inflate when it gets wet, or you can pull this and it'll inflate. So this is a really cool thing to have. I keep that under there. This thing is really neat. This is the only legal replacement for flares. Now this is more like big open water, you know, lakes, ocean, that kind of thing. So this thing sends out an SOS beacon and it floats and it's reflective. So the Coast Guard can find you at night if you ever have any trouble. These are cool. It's the only legal replacement for flares, and flares don't last forever, and they're a safety hazard on a boat. So that's a neat alternative. And then also you're going to have an extra plug. This is actually the original. I got the boat from the original owner, and then extra water plugs for the motor. Never hurts to have extra, right? So that's the safety gear. Let's move on to other stuff. All right, we're finally winding down to the end, and we're going to talk about the fun stuff. Fun stuff. You're finally on the water. It's time to do that thing that you've been dreaming about doing. And that's floating, swimming, listening to the radio, finding your favorite cove. All right, front center. You have a, excuse me, I just had a burp. You have a Danforth anchor. Anchor's got a chain lead line and then a super long rope. See it? It's all right there, ready to go. Throw that thing overboard, start driving backwards real slow, let it set, tie it off on that center cleat right there. That anchor comes with the boat. Now you may not be aware of this, but Bayliner is known for being first in stow, S-T-O-W. The storage on this boat is cavernous, okay? So, port side, underneath the front open bow seat, you've got all this storage in here, okay? And under there, you will get kids' jackets. 1, 2, 3. Those are in there. Other side, the open bow, of course you don't have to keep this stuff here. You've got extra brand new bimini top parts, an extra serpentine belt, and a bag of goodies and fuses and parts and little miscellaneous odd and end parts that this boat has. And of course, lots of storage. In this compartment, you will be getting 2 of these full throttle. They look like diapers because you sit in them and you straddle them, and it floats your whole body, basically, you know, just in that sweet spot. And that way you don't have to swim. You can just chill. These are brand new. You got 2 of them. And then here you have a Hyperlight 2X Coast Guard approved life jacket. Down in the ski locker door, you can lift up on this guy. It's not hinged. You can just pick it up and set it out of the way. You could fit a WWF wrestler down here. All right. Oy, let's see what you got. Extra large life jacket. A women's. It just says adult, but it's like your standard white girl jacket. Overton's. Teenager's jacket. And another teenager's jacket. Okay. Down here you've got a doggy life jacket, and now we're getting to some good stuff here. All right, this umbrella and these camo straps, they go back there, right? And you take the umbrella and you open it up and you stick it into that umbrella mount down there. So you just pull the seat forward a little bit. You stick that umbrella in that mount and you use the camo straps to keep it down and in place. And then you have way more shade, and it shades the whole swim platform. So neat little addition there. All right. With that, you've got extra ropes, you've got ski ropes, and you have a toolkit. This toolkit's brand new. Great kit. It has literally everything you're going to need in there. Fits in here good. There's more jackets underneath, and you have the orange, the generic ones that nobody ever wants to wear. You got those in case, you know, you never know who needs one. And you have a sand spike right here. So that right there, see the sand spike. So, oar, umbrella, sand spike, toolkit, tow rope, another extra rope, some motorcycle straps for the umbrella, a doggy vest, and then you have these 1, 2, 3, 4 more jackets. So that has you at, let's see, you had 1, 2, 3, yeah, and then you had 1, yeah, so you got 4, and then you got another 4 here, and then you got 1 underneath here, and then you got this generic. So you've got 10 Coast Guard certified, oh, and the one under, so you got 11 certified jackets under the floor, or in the boat, excuse me. So you're 100% legal for whatever finds you on the water. All right, under these 2 seats, you have more storage. The little lock latch thingy on this guy isn't working right, so we don't ever use that one. It's, I'm sure it's an easy fix. I just haven't cared enough. And then this one, just pull. What do we have in here? Yep, 1, 2, yep. Another brand new first aid kit. And then, oh, what is this? Extra large SoCal Jet Boots t-shirt. Never worn. That's pretty cool. You can have that too. We've got more storage in here. Port side gunnel. You've got a spring line. This is stretchy, and it's got some foam on there. So if you're gonna tie up to an anchor or something, this will stretch with the waves. That's cool to have. American flag line, and you've got a dock bumper on a line. You got another line here, and you have a prop wrench. Yes, you do. And you got a flag. And last but not least, you have a lanyard. This is what you hook onto that vest that's at the helm. Those big D-rings on the vest, so you can hook yourself to something without getting pulled away. So that is in this gunwale. All right, starboard gunwales where the magic happens. You've got 1, 2, 3 flags, swimming goggles. You never know when you got to look under the boat. This I will show you in a second. Got another bumper buoy with a spring line and a hook. This is the one I use on the front of the boat, okay? And you have 2 American flag lines, 1 long black line, and then 2 medium lines. I store all that stuff right here. And this usually goes on top or in an accessible place. Now I know you saw the big fat flag with the wooden stick. That goes right here. Ba-bam, while you're floating. Yeah, it's bolted. That'll hold it for you. That's what that one's for. All right, you'll remember, oh, and by the way, blower fan, 4 minutes. Anchor light, navigation light. Anchor light is for the transom mounted light on a stick. That's what this guy is. So notice that little screw. That'll index it in the hole. So it mounts right here, right on the back. This is a flag holder. Since this is a bay boat, you can put your flag back there. So you see, I guess on our position, that's 12 o'clock. You want that screw to line up with that. Okay, and it goes down, thunk, and the wire connectors will connect into there, and you push this down until it's real tight, and then you can unscrew this screw, and this will telescope out. It's supposed to be above your highest point, so in this case, if you're boating at night, it should be, just above where your bimini is, but nobody ever tickets or checks for that shit. So it goes from 26 to 42 inches, and that's where it goes. That's your anchor light. So if you're going to operate at night or it's at dusk and you got to turn the lights on, you want to flip both of those switches, anchor light, nav light, and you'll have your red green on the bow, and you'll have your transom light, aka anchor light, on the stern, and you're 100% legal to operate at night. Right now, for real, we're actually getting to the end. We don't ever do it, but these 2 seats fold flat, and you can lay down and take a nap. Yep. These seats you can remove, get them completely out of the way, like so. I know you saw that kid fishing right here. It's a neat functionality thing. Or you can turn this whole thing into a sun pad, and what you want to do is turn the cushion over to where you see that little foot sticking out, and it slots right there in that spot. 1 second, I will demonstrate. Just like that, and then you can take this other one and do the same thing, and now you have a sun pad. So neat. You got cup holders here, cup holders here, cup holder here, cup holder here, cup holder here, cup holder here. Got a tie-up cleat here, tie-up cleat here, tie-up cleat here, and then on the stern, tie-up cleat here, tie-up cleat here. Now, Mike, when you're driving and you are going to stop and float for a while, a good rule of thumb for you as an operator, okay, when you stop, I want you to make sure the boat is steering straight so that the outdrive is straight, okay, and trim it down. It doesn't have to be all the way maxed down, but trim it down, because people are going to be swimming back here, and they're going to be hanging on to the swim platform, and if it's turned to the side and up, they can kick it and really hurt themselves in a bad way. So, professional boater, qualified captain. When you come to a stop, get the boat straight, trim down, all right? So you got a stereo. The stereo is brand new. This boat originally only had 2 speakers in those locations on both sides, and they were small. So I bought this. It's a value system. Let's just be real, but it is brand new. It's made by Pile, and I had a shop install this, and so they installed these 2 speakers up there in the bow, which are bigger, and these 2, which are the same ones. And here's your stereo right here. It's Bluetooth, and that's on. Yeah, it's already on. Radio.
And how many got?
Pretty neat. Auxiliary in, Bluetooth, radio. You can push and hold it to turn it off. That's your volume. There's your USB, and there's your auxiliary. This will keep it safe and dry. Okay, what else? You know what, my brother? I think that's it. Yeah, so you're going to get a brand new propeller in the box. It's good to carry it in the boat just in case. It's good to carry a little piece of 2x4. It'll help you if you have to change the prop. You'll have a prop wrench in the boat, but you'll also need a flathead and a little hammer to undo the tabs on the, I'll show you how to do that, on the prop nut and all that's got a safety on it. So you'll have a new prop. I'll give you the factory Bimini. You're going to get the Super Mabel. You're going to need your own pump for that, okay? Super Mabel's got its own line already tied on it, so all you got to do is inflate it and it's ready to go. And I'm sure I'll think of some other stuff, but you're going to have everything you need to be safe, 100%. Have everything. So I hope this is helpful. It's something you can review when you're not, like, in the throes of boating with a whole bunch of kids and family and stuff, and that way you can be prepared and be safe and know your boat before you even experience it. So I hope it was helpful, bro. It's dirty. I haven't cleaned it yet from the last trip. If you remember, my sister is an emergency, so we put it away wet basically, and so it's going to be clean when you get it. So after I finish filming all this stuff, I'm gonna like get the vacuum out and wash it and wipe it down and make sure it's all good for you. So if you watch this and you have any questions, don't hesitate to call or text or hit me up, and I'm an open book for you. Okay, you take care, my brother. You take care, and I'll see you soon. I'm so excited for you. Adios. All right, now when it comes to enjoying the water, this is really important. When people are going to jump in the water, make sure they jump off of the boat and push off of the boat and not the swim platform. The swim platform has a high weight rating, but the support arms underneath the platform, they just can't handle that kind of weight when you have multiple people on there and they're springing off of it. So have them jump off of the boat and not the swim platform. Okay, prop change. So you have that propeller wrench. It's blue. It's inside the boat. It fits this nut. Okay, so you have this little locking tab here, and you see how that fits over that little dimple there. Got the same locking tab here and dimple. So you want to use a little flathead and a hammer, pound those down, put your prop wrench on here, right? And then you'll need a 2x4 because you're going to need to stop the prop from moving. So if you're loosening, you want to turn the prop this way and have it wedge onto that 2x4 and then spin that nut off, and this whole thing will just slide right off. Okay, now on the back side of this prop there's a hub kit. It's like this long plastic square, okay, and it slots inside the prop, and it's designed to slip. So if you ever like are running underway and you hit something that would make the prop stop, right, the hub kit will slip and fail so that you don't strip out the gears in your whole outdrive. So hub kits are like 35 bucks, something like that. So you can reuse the hub kit all the time, no problem. So if there's some chance that you injure your prop and you got to change it on the water, you'll have a backup with you. But that's how you change it. Just 2x4 right here, push those 2 tabs down, put your prop wrench on there, loosen it, slide it off, transfer the hub kit from the inside of this one and put it in the new one, and slide it back on and put it back together. It's just that easy. It really is. So this prop is brand new. Okay, brand new. Yes, sir. And your backup is the same exact one. So you're good to go. Ah, that's more like it. Nice and clean. That's new. I don't know where that came from. All right, there you have it. She cleans up real nice. Just wanted to show you all the trailer lights, babe. There you go. Yeah, boy. On the ID lights there, the middle one goes out, then the outside goes out, so I bet if I kicked it, it'd work. That never bothered me much. So even armor on your wheels, there you go. Yeah, nice and clean. All right, back into the garage until you are here.